Why is it like,
All right. Like we are live. Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. We are super excited to have you guys here. We have our featured practitioner of the week, Amy Krynicki. Did I say that right, Amy? Awesome. We are going to talk about regenerative health. We're going to talk about healthy detoxing while nourishing your body. And we're also going to talk about soil quality. So super excited. If you're here with us live, say hello, drop us a hashtag live so that we know you're here. Get us boosted in the algorithm. For those of you who don't know, I am Brittany. I'm a holistic nutritionist and one of the admins of the group, and we are here with Chris Porton, the other admin and owner of Rock Your Health Coaching. And Amy, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time out today. I know you have an important event retreat this weekend, so thanks for coming to meet with us today. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you so much for having me, Brittany and Chris. I'm so excited that I found this group and I really appreciate both of you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Certainly, glad to have you here.
Yeah, we're super excited. So, just to start us off, tell us a little bit about your holistic health journey and kind of how you got here.
Yeah. Um, my journey's pretty long, really. Like had depression and anxiety pretty much since 13, since high school early. And that kind of led to chronic pain and different things were happening in my body that I couldn't explain. I went to a lot of different doctors. I was told things were in my head. They were going to cut my elbow. Different weird, interesting things were happening. And I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia about 12 years ago. And that seemed like a relief that, like, okay, I finally knew what was going on with me. Now I can maybe figure out how to solve things. But what happened was I grew up in the Chicagoland area in the Midwest. No one really talked about nutrition or anything holistic. I didn't live in that kind of lifestyle. I was going to a couple different doctors and I just kind of got loaded up on pharmaceutical drugs. And for a very long time, I didn't advocate for myself and I took the doctor's words for verbatim and thought I was doing everything right, but I was like a shell of a person, really. I couldn't remember my friends' names. I couldn't talk. Like I had such bad anxiety. My pain levels were like over a 10. I had to have special clothing. Everything was super sensitive. I really was unhappy and miserable and got to a point where I wanted to figure out what was actually this fibromyalgia and what was the side effects to all the medications that I was being treated with. So a couple of years ago, when cannabis became legal in Illinois, I asked my doctors, like, I would like to see what is going on. I'd like to transition to something more natural. Can you help me get off of these pills and start fresh? And they actually dropped me. And it was very scary. It was probably one of the hardest things that I had to go through. But looking back at it, um, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me because those pills were causing suicidal thoughts. They were horrible. And it really made me choose to either like live or die, like figure it out on my own. So for a long time, I was kind of on this my own path of figuring out what was working. I worked at a dispensary for a little bit. My background is in graphic design and marketing, and at the same time, I was working as an art director for Big Pharma when I was being poisoned. So nothing was aligning in my life. So I quit that job and I started learning more about my body. I was learning that while cannabis was helping me, it was really CBD that was helping me more because it was addressing the inflammation in my body. So um, then I found Regenerative Health 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. I found a group of women, and um, it's just dramatically changed my life. So I started with a protocol where I was detoxifying my body using whole food nutrition. Started eating organically, started learning about what glyphosate was, what was in our food, the chemicals, and not even that, but like what I was putting in my body, the birth control that I've been using for 20 years, mattered. And um, my first 30 days during this program, I lost a lot of weight right away. My body went to homeostasis. I wasn't even trying to lose weight, but that just naturally happened. My pain levels went from a 5 to 6, and I was using mass amount of cannabis, CBD, kratom, all those kinds of supplements, trying to figure that out. I didn't have to use any of that. My pain went to like a 1 to 0, and I started sleeping again without any kind of medications, um, dreaming, getting really like restful sleep, and my brain fog lifted. I just started having all this energy. I stuck to this diet, not diet, but way of life, really. I learned more about alkaline eating and what was causing inflammation, the connection between my depression and anxiety and my gut health, like by solving my gut, like detoxifying that and rebuilding it, I don't have any kind of depression or anxiety anymore. It's amazing. And I just had to start sharing and helping others on this path, especially like I'm very involved in the fibromyalgia community in Chicago. I was on a board. I've done put together walks and everything, and I know for a long time that I was stuck. Like that was my label. Fibromyalgia was what I was, and I've really learned that I am not my label. I'm not my diagnosis, and that I can heal. That these things are reversible. But things that they told me were impossible, I'm doing. I'm skiing. I've like have such a vibrant life now that I just never knew was possible. Um, so for 2 years, I've been learning about regenerative health, and coaching others, and I am now a practitioner, certified practitioner of regenerative health, and I do iridology and herbalism, and create protocols for people. And specifically, I fell in line with a group of practitioners, and we work closely with people that have been affected by mold, um, and SIRS, so chronic inflammation. Um, and I'm looking back in my life and realizing that mold was part of my journey as well. When I grew up, I was in a house that had mold. It was leaky, it was ancient, it was interesting. And then when we moved, I was living in the basement that flooded and stuff. So all of these things I'm learning are just these it's like a toxic bucket. We each have a toxic bucket, right? And we just keep putting things into the bucket until we tip over, and then we are labeled with something. And really, if we can get to that root issue of the toxins and deeply nourish ourselves with food that has nutrients in it, we can reverse a lot of this. And it's really amazing. So it's a lot, but
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And that's super powerful. I mean, it brought you to tears just thinking about, where you were to how far you've come now. And I think that so many people, I mean, you've been in the group for a minute and you kind of see, these people are desperate, people are suffering, people are very sick. And just to know that there is hope when you find the right things that can nourish your body, when you are able to properly heal and use these foods as medicine, and it's definitely a possibility. There's hope for so many out there. Can you talk a little bit about mold? That's something that I've been coming across a lot more in my practice as well. What are kind of some of the things, for one, maybe symptoms that people experience with mold? And I know there's a wide range. And then also, what are some of the things that they can do to get rid of this mold?
okay. Well, Well, first, there's a really amazing test online. Let me look at the name of it. That it's a very simple online screening test. It's called the VCS test. It's on survivingmold.com. And it's just an online test that you are looking at, and you're able to kind of see what is going on and what your level is, and if you're being affected by a mycotoxin illness. And that's a good place to start. And I mean, the first place to start is to get out of mold too. I mean, you have to get out of it. And then that's a really hard thing for a lot of people, like housing and money. It's hard. Um, a lot of things that I've seen, my mentor was poisoned biological warfare levels of mold, and her case was nationally recognized right now. But um, a lot of people that go through mold protocols are, the binders and stuff are so strong that they strip everything away from you. So what we do differently is really nourish, and it's a little gentler with natural herbs, but we are filling the body with regeneratively grown food at the same time. So it's not as harsh, and people are able to bounce back. But it's slow. It can look like a lot of different things: sensitivities, headaches, a lot of things that we think are normal and um, we take for granted. Our is our environment. It's like our environment is toxic. So it all kind of comes together.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely understand. And, like I have a current client right now and she's got some mold issues and she's living in a moldy apartment building, and that's something that she knew when we started working together. I'm like, we can do these protocols and we can help you. But if you don't get out of this environment, and they're strapped and it's hard to pick up your family and move, but you have to do that for your health, right? Like that's so important. So she's actually in the process of moving right now. They were able to find another place. But it's so important to make sure that your environment doesn't have mold. I have another client with mold who worked in a moldy building for many years, and that contributed to a lot of her issues. Well, luckily she's no longer working there, but now she's got to deal with the mold.
Mm-hmm.
So can you talk to us a little bit about what is regenerative health? What is the difference between that and maybe like holistic health, or what is regenerative health?
Regenerative health is, it's really, it's just that our body has the ability to repair, heal, and regenerate. So it is using the principles of chemistry and physics. So basically, what we're really looking at with regenerative health is the systems of the body as a whole, and a lot of it is the lymphatic system. Like we always talk about the blood, we're doing blood tests and stuff like that, but what's really where the inflammation and toxins and disease are living is in the lymphatic system. So when our lymphatic system is backed up, that's where disease is thriving. So when we're doing regenerative health, what we're really trying to focus on is opening the elimination pathways. So the skin is a huge one. So dry brushing, taking care of your skin, lymphatic massage, moving the lymph around. Like the blood has the heart that's pumping, but we don't have anything pumping that lymphatic system. So we have to work on that ourselves. Breath work, that can remove 70% of toxins just by breath work. Like it's free. And then it's the kidneys and the bowels. So your poop matters, that matters. And the kidneys, though, the kidney filtration is huge. That's really where things are draining out. So it's still something after 2 years, my kidneys are still barely filtering. And that's like a simple test that you can do. In the morning, your first urination of the morning, pee in a big glass jar, and your kidneys should be having should be filtering. So it shouldn't just be clear. It should be cloudy pee. It should have white flakes. It should look like a snow globe. And that's when you know your kidneys are opening. So when I help people detoxify, I'm really working on that kidney to be open before I'm moving any kind of heavy metals through the body or anything, because if those aren't open, it can stir up other things and make someone more sick, and that can create a healing crisis. Um, so like the skin, like if things aren't open, like that's when you're having all these pimples and stuff, and your skin is not, your skin is the one that's like showing the toxins or removing the toxins. So it all starts in the gut, and we're just trying to alkaline things with and when I say alkaline, I'm not trying to change the blood pH or anything. I'm trying to alkaline the lymphatic system so that we can get rid of parasites. Like parasites love acid, they love heavy metals, so they are thriving in us. And when we can alkaline the body by using just really fruit and natural herbs, we get the detox, the pathways open, and that's cleaning things out. And then there you're removing inflammation. Inflammation is just the start of disease. So, yeah. So,
I love that. That's really, important. I think that's where allopathic, medicine, well, there's lots of ways it fails, but they look at one system, and they're not looking at the body as a whole. And it's really important to have all of those detox pathways going. Make sure you're sweating, make sure your lymph is flowing, make sure your kidneys are, filtering out all the toxic stuff, right? Like that's super important.
I mean, we're Western medicine who is just covering up the symptoms. We're getting to the root cause of like, okay, so you're not losing weight, you're exhausted, da da da. Okay, so it's your adrenals. So let's work on your adrenals, and your kidneys and adrenals are functioning together. And I mean, we can tell what the adrenals are doing from your blood pressure. So it's very fascinating that, but it's all connected, and we just are getting to the root cause, really.
Did you have a question for her, Chris? I think you're muted.
It froze up for a second. Yes, that is so important. And lymph reminds me of the concept of jumping on a trampoline. Just get your body moving, get the blood moving, and so forth. And especially,
Oh, you're freezing.
can you hear me?
Oh, now we can.
Yes, lymph is so important, like you're mentioning. It's just the simple things we do on a daily basis that I mentioned before that'll really pay many dividends, especially being active like that. So I really appreciate your emphasis on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's super important. I mean, I didn't even know what the lymph was before this. Like, no one talks about that.
Right.
I've heard it means like free flowing river in like Latin or something like that, and it just means to keep things flowing, as you were saying.
Yeah, it's kind of like the blood is the kitchen. It's like
Right.
feeding us, and the lymphatic system is like the sewer system. It's taking everything out, right?
Super important to keep that lymph flowing. That's, definitely one of the things I recommend to my clients is, let's dry brush, put a little bit of castor oil and some olive oil and get, get that moving.
Opening kidneys, those are awesome.
Yeah.
A quick question, actually. Are there simple things you recommend your clients do, we can do on a daily basis, whether it be, walk for 10 to 15 minutes a day, or we may not all have trampolines, which trampolines would be fun to kind of jump up and down, get things moving. What can we do on a daily basis to just keep things flowing from a physical perspective, in addition to everything else, obviously?
I mean, just really lymphatic massage.
Okay.
I send like a quick video of like just some basic movement, where you're just moving things, especially in the morning. Walking, exercise, stretching. Yeah, and it's not too complicated. It's just these little
No.
dry brushing is great. hot and cold showers, cold plunges, uh, what are those called? The infrared like saunas, those are amazing for getting things out of the skin too. Yeah.
We got a question here from Karen. She says, I have been detoxifying for 9 months. GFR currently 23, stage 4 kidney disease. Slowly. Can I do lymphatic massage or too soon still?
What is the GF4?
I'm not sure what that. Can you clarify?
But I mean,
Oh, is that glomerular filtration rate? I bet that's what that is.
I'm not.
So that's the rate of the kidneys, how it filters.
I mean, you can always do them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be doing a lot of high fruit, lemon water in the morning, detoxifying, lemons, lots of grapes, berries, citrus, like high fruit. Like I usually walk my clients to like getting to fruit till noon. A really important part of detoxifying and is food combining, proper food combining. So waking up and eating fruit in the morning is super important. Fruit digests in 20-25 minutes. Melons digest with a different melons digest in your mouth, so they should be eaten separate than other fruits. And then food should be eaten. Food takes like a couple hours to digest, right? So if we're eating food and then we put fruit on top, the food is sitting here digesting, and then the fruit is fermenting and causing indigestion, leaky gut. It's ruining the tight junctions in our body. It's letting candida thrive. So proper food combining, which we don't talk about. I mean, we have like steak and then we have a cherry pie. Like, so
She's got another question here. Won't make me go into failure. Karen, I'm going to say that would be something that I would recommend talking to your doctor about. We really shouldn't, you're not her client. She doesn't know your history. She doesn't know, so that would definitely be something I would speak to the doctor about, because we wouldn't want you to have any issues. She also said, I think candida biofilm around kidneys as biopsy shows no active disease. Definitely have a rash all over body. Been battling since I changed my diet in December. So it sounds like you need like a good gut cleanse, Karen. That definitely sounds like something that could benefit you in getting that candida, because it's coming out on your skin.
yeah, I use a couple different products with my clients that, like, there's one that will fix the tight junctions of the gut, and then there's other ones that will bind and remove and rebuild the gut microbiome, healthy flora. But yeah,
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about soil health.
mm-hmm.
I know we mentioned that, and this is a good time. I love this topic. So what's wrong with the soil, Amy?
We have no nutrients, so basically walking around. I mean, we could be putting all these good things in our body, but none of it has nutrients anymore. And plus, if our gut is not healthy, if we're not eating organic, we are ingesting pesticides, and the main one being glyphosate, the main herbicide in Roundup. So they actually have it patented as an antibiotic. And like, we know that we don't want to take tons of antibiotics over and over again, but yet it's in our food, it's in our air and water. It actually takes 2 years to rebuild your gut after you do a round of antibiotics. So what regenerative health is like getting to the root cause, and that's basically the root cause of why we are not having any nutrients. One, our gut, if glyphosate kind of covers your gut microbiome and doesn't allow you to absorb nutrients properly. And then the food, like 1 carrot grown in regeneratively grown soil is equal to 200 carrots that you get at the store grown in fast farming, conventional farming practices, because our soil is just lacking nutrients. So the organic food that I'm using as nutrient therapies are grown in regenerative soil. So they are grown in a huge lava bed, a lake bed of like 89 feet of topsoil. So it is got more nutrients, way more nutrients being put into the soil than being taken out. So and then we're picking it when it's ripe and dehydrating it with sun and solar power. So the fast farming people are picking the fruit before it's even ripe, before it's even gotten all its nutrients. It doesn't even have a chance to finally like grow, and it's wrapped in plastic and then shipped across the country, and we're just not eating food. Food that just isn't even food anymore. Like I love like the memes and stuff, like the grocery store that has the health aisle. So what else? What is the rest of the food? Like,
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's important to remember too, like as a nutritionist, I'm always like, food first. Let's get our nutrients from food, but we also have to understand that our food is not as nutrient dense as it used to be. So it's really important to, supplement with high quality supplements to fill in those gaps and find what, works for you and what's best for what's best for your body, because our food, just even if you're eating an apple, it's not even half as nutrient dense as an apple was 50 years ago, because we do have, they're picking it too soon. They are, it's being transported. Now we have like global, so how long has this been in transit for? And how long did it sit in the grocery store for? How long is it sitting in your fridge or on your counter for? Every day it's losing, nutrients. So even if you think that you're eating a super healthy diet, there's still going to be some lack of nutrients there just based on the soil quality.
100%.
Did you have something, Chris?
Yes, you guys are talking about foods and food story. There's a meme that's been going around. It's been going on for a while, and how some supermarkets have healthy food aisle. There's only one aisle that says healthy food. And then what the heck is the rest of the store? And obviously what you should be doing is shopping the perimeter, but as you know, but in the middle, there's not much nutrient density at all. So it's very well said there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Amy, let's chat about what can you do for clients. So say these people are suffering from gut health issues, they're suffering from, autoimmune things. Who do you work with? How can you help them? And what is that process like?
I work with everyone from athletes to children. I because of my story with fibromyalgia, I end up matched with a lot of people with autoimmune and fibromyalgia and chronic inflammation, stuff like that. I work in conjunction with a team of other practitioners. Like we usually do group transformations. So right now we are planning one that's starting at the end of October, where we have a Facebook group where we are going to be teaching people how to detoxify their lives and how to eat properly for inflammation. What I usually do is do a free consult with someone to see if what I do and what I focus on is a good fit for someone. I can start with just a detoxifying program. It can be a 30, 60, or 90-day program. I really think that doing stuff holistically with whole food takes a while. It's not an overnight process. So committing to a 90-day program is where I like to start people's mindset, at least. And going from there, I offer iridology readings too. So I look at people's eyes, their irises, and it's just another way of kind of linking what's going on in the body to maybe like an intake form, a facial mapping. So I have different tools that can kind of go deeper and see what's going on. And then I can write a herbal protocol along with that to go a little deeper too. So it depends on, budgets, where someone's at financially, and how committed they are, how fast they want to go. Detoxifying is not easy. it's a process.
Yeah.
It exacerbates everything that you've gone through. So if someone usually presents symptoms in a urinary tract, that might come back up. But like it's being committed to the process of moving through it, and then we get through it. Like we can get through these things and rebuild and overcome things that are flaring. And those are just like our body whispering and telling us like what's going on. And so yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know,
Question,
go ahead.
yeah, about the iridology.
Yeah.
Can you do about first question? Simple. Is it have to be done in person by Zoom? How does that work?
No, it does not. It usually would take
Okay.
a video that kind of can show you how to take a picture, but really my
Okay.
picture of my eyes. I
Oh,
have
cool.
actually just got delivered today. I'm pretty excited about, but you can take one yourself. You
Okay.
person do it because you kind of have to hold your eye open and you take it from the side and use a light. Just send that to me and I would write up I have an overlay and would show you kind of where you're going, what I mean there's only two color eyes actually. Eyes or blue eyes. And like my pretty hazel eyes are just lymphatic congestion that I need to go deeper with. It's really cool to see people's eyes before detoxification and after. I mean, every day you can kind of see there's like a skin, the outside is a skin. So you can kind of see like if you've been dry brushing and if you haven't, and like it changes daily. It's really interesting. I used to think, oh, my eyes they change colors. Yeah, like they literally do because it depends on what kind of toxins are going through my body at this time. It's very
So
interesting.
that's actually where my second question was leading. So you can tell you need kidney support or heart support or XYZ type of thing.
Yeah, it's not like I can't diagnose with it, but I
Right, of course.
what is strong in your body, what is weak, like your like genetic makeup. Like if you have a strong genetics from your parents, you can see that. You can see like that this person is going to be able to heal a little easier. Or regenerate a little easier. Yeah, it's super interesting. I mean, the iris connects to like 28,000 nerve endings in our body. So it shows us a lot. It's literally the window to our whole body.
So on a daily basis, it could change as you do the detox and support and so forth. It's like, oh, this is lighter, darker type of thing.
It changes daily, absolutely. But like my eyes have definitely gotten bluer as I've been going.
Wow, that's really interesting. I didn't realize that they could change colors like that. I was reminded of you yesterday, Amy, because I was listening to, I think it was the Dr. Axe podcast, and they had an iridologist on there, and she was just talking about, how those changes and the sclera and the different lines, the red lines in your eyes too mean something. I didn't even realize that. I was like, oh, like she's like, if they're forked, it means this, and if this, and I was like, I'm in the mirror and I'm like trying to look at my eye as I'm listening to the podcast. I was like, I'm gonna have to ask Amy more about this because that's just like so interesting. And that's really cool. That you can utilize that tool. There's all these like ancient modalities and these things that have been used for so long that kind of got lost, and I'm so happy to see them coming back, because really our bodies can tell us so much, and there's different things that can tell us so much about our health and where we're at and what we need, and it's just truly incredible how we were designed. Really amazing. So awesome. Well, anything else before we let you go? And then also, where can people find you? Where can they hang out with you if they have any questions, things like that?
Well, I'm in the directory. um, and yeah, I don't think I have anything else. available on Facebook. You can message me. You can follow me on Instagram. My title on Instagram is Regenerative Vibration. So I also do sound healing and Reiki. So I really try to look at my clients as a whole. Like, you know, our bodies hold on to trauma. So a lot of times, like when someone's detoxing, the liver and kidneys, like kidneys is fear. So forgiveness, like sometimes we have to go deep into our eternal dialogue of what's going on. So it's all connected. It's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's so important to look at the body as a whole and understand that connection too with, you know, our health and those trapped emotions, those unhealed traumas, those, you know, feelings. Like it's really, you know, an important piece of the puzzle, you know, for people to actually heal. You know, diet and lifestyle, obviously, like the first steps, you got to get that, but then there's like some deeper things, right, in order to fully heal and become the healthy versions of ourselves that we all desire and deserve.
Yeah, we really do deserve that. We can heal and we can regenerate, and we have to just be self advocates for ourselves and figure things out and not just believe what some people tell us.
Right.
Leave it at that.
What the white coats tell us. Well, awesome, Amy. Thank you so much for taking the time today to come and chat with us and just share your story and share what you do. Like Amy mentioned, you guys, she is featured in the practitioner directory that is pinned to the top in the announcement section. So you can reach out to her there, follow her there, check out her website there. You can also message her on Facebook. I will be tagging her in this once we're done. If you're watching the replay, feel free to put any questions or anything in the comments section, and I'm sure she will be happy to answer those. Have a great time on your retreat this week and enjoy yourself. And thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.